Many doctors say that when your child has autism, there isn't much to do about it but get used to it. However, an autistic child who receives early intervention is more socially developed than a child with little to no therapy from their parents. But this poses the question, how can one combat autism? First step is to understand autism and where it comes from, unless you already know what autism is. Now granted, autism is a hard topic to talk about, even for the toughest souls among us. However, by getting to know autism a little better, working with the disability, preserving the knowledge necessary for intervention, will be much easier for child and parent.
My name is Kissin, and I like arcade in water parks, movie theaters, and amusement parks.
My name is Nathan, and I am a good boy.
The second step is to see how therapists assist with autistic children's ability to overcome the disorder in the first place. Some parents may not know how to talk to their children, given the many symptoms of their disability. Fortunately, using a certain procedure, therapists like these can dig into even the most quiet of children with autism and meet all the necessities necessary. Finally, we discuss how parents can help their autistic kids with combating their disabilities. But how can parents overcome autism? As an adult with autism, I know how frustrating autism can be and how disappointing it is. Fortunately, I have attended the school TLC Learning Center and therefore benefit from their learning center and the procedures that they follow in the race to help children combat their disabilities. All I can say is that once parents put their thoughts together, of course they can work with their children to combat autism. That's how I got on these 2 feet, through my parents and the TLC forming an alliance to help with early intervention. But enough about me, let's dive deep into autism and how it can be intervened.
My name is Sherry Carmen. I'm an occupational therapist and I'm the therapeutic services manager here. I've been an occupational therapist for many years and I've been at TLC for almost 18 years. The part of TLC that I manage is the therapeutic services department. So we have occupational, physical, and speech therapists. We see kids from birth up to age 12. We see a whole range of kids. We see kids through early intervention programs in their homes. We see them through home care, our home care agency in their homes. We see kids in the center throughout the day. And then we also have teams of therapists in all of our educational services programs. So that's the infant room, the toddler rooms, and the preschool classrooms.
My name's Mia Gerard, and I'm a pediatric occupational therapist and the yoga kids teacher at TLC. I'm also a mom. I'm a wife. I love the outdoors and yoga. And I've worked here for a really long time. I'm an occupational therapist. Most of my time as an occupational therapist is spent in the classroom. What an OT does is really help develop skills through play. And we look at gross motor skills, fine motor skills, self-regulation and sensory processing skills, self-help skills, and play skills with the social interaction piece of it. So I do that in the classroom as well as in one-on-one sessions.
Now, how can the parents take their part in the intervention of autism? Well, for one thing, it's quite a good idea to get to the bottom of any autism-related fears that the parents might have. In so doing, the parent either sighs in relief knowing there's nothing about these kids to worry about, or can find positive ways to get through any fears that the parent might have, including viewing disabilities as unique abilities. Such tips may be tough, as parents can get scared of autism for a number of excuses.
In the beginning, we kind of suspected that things were, or that something was there. We noticed at about 18 months, roughly, that he was not developing the way other children were, and some of the people that were in his daycare were what pointed it out to us. And then when we moved to Colorado, we started him into therapies, and by 2 years old, we had his diagnosis. And normally, kids don't get diagnosed until a little older, but we already saw it coming. I mean, we kind of already knew right off the bat. So when we got the notice, or when we got the word too that he was autistic, it really wasn't that big of a shocker for us as we've seen it be for other people. I think autism is nothing to be scared of. It's not a death sentence. It's not being diagnosed with cancer at an early age or anything. I mean, you can work through things, and that's why I've said early intervention is so important. I mean, you can move past certain aspects of it, and it doesn't have to be the defining characteristic of your life. And I think that that's the same when it comes to Nathan, is to put a label on him or to be scared or be defined by his autism is it's the wrong way to go, and it's not the way we try to parent him. The sky's the limit. I mean, hopefully he'll be an astronaut one day. We'll see.
When initially it was really hard, and there was certainly a process of dealing with that, and then we just kind of powered through, and we're trying to figure out how we could best help Atticus and make his world better for him and more manageable. And for us too, of figuring out how and what we needed to do to make things easier for him.
I could tell you my own son had some early intervention needs outside of TLC when we lived someplace else, but when we came here, he did benefit from some of the programs here as well. I feel like there's a lot of benefit from having early intervention, a lot of benefit from having those therapy support services. Again, either early intervention or throughout the lifespan, whatever is needed. But I feel like that intervention is definitely a plus and a help for, again, clients and their families.
Well,
do you know what? That's the first time you've ever done my shoe without me helping. Nice work, friend.
Good job. Whoa, one last time and then we'll be all done with the bean bags.
Can I take the broom with me?
It's no wonder why autistic kids with advanced treatment are more socially developed than those with no intervention at all. Such a process is much easier with a little knowledge about autism spectrum disorder. Info that includes symptoms associated with autism, strengths and weaknesses for autism are fair game in early intervention. In so doing, parents can remember what to expect from their diagnosed kids and solve problems based on the way their children behave. Further on, knowing what therapists can do for autistic kids' social development may also ease intervention with the disability. By understanding the way that therapists give extra tutoring, providing visual clues, and taking notes on different forms of language, therapists can point autistic kids in the right direction towards developed social skills. Plus, these therapists provide a welcome relief for parents trying to tough out the intervention themselves, just by providing a helping hand. Then finally, the success of intervening with autism depends on the parents' strategies for intervention. So long as parents can put their fears aside and see their kids with unique abilities instead of disabilities, any child with autism can become socially developed. And to think that doctors used to say that autism can't be overcome.
Sure, you can conquer autism when you're thinking autism.